top. Survey says he's totally out of control. And he's taking all his FernGully friends along for the ride. Only on video, it's an all-new animated adventure featuring brand new songs. Gotta remember the window. FernGully 2, The Magical Rescue, coming to video March 17th. Rated G.
Hang on a second, since you can't see my face. Ah, there we go. Yes, this movie exists. Yes, there is a FernGully 2. Your eyes do not deceive you. This movie existed. Also, you already forgot I reviewed the first movie a long time ago. Oh, and February's almost here. I decided to do an early movie review. Ooh, which I call sequelitis. But most YouTubers already done that before. Now let me explain what sequelitis means. It's like when most movie ideas, when they're running out of ideas, they always make a whole trilogy. You name it, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Let me think. That comes to mind. It's on my tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, Jurassic Park movies. Or what they're called nowadays, Jurassic World movies and all that stuff. So on and so forth. Or lots of Star Trek movies, which I'll get to another time. And the James Bond movies as well. Once in a while, I do talk about most movie sequels. And yes, I'm aware that the Stunter Critic talked about it years ago. And so that, Media Hunter, or whatever. Let's see. Actually says 9 months ago.
Going back down under with the sequel film?
Yeah. Still takes place in Australia, like he said. I've been waiting a long time to talk about this movie.
So we covered FernGully, the last rainforest on the...
Stop talking. Yeah, some guy named One Week Rental, a movie post, also talked about it. And let's see, 4 months ago, which is back in 2025. Anyway, so we go ahead and explain about this movie. I used to watch this a lot more as a kid. And then like the first one and then the second. Second of all, see what I did there? Because I'm talking about number 2. Anyways, the creators that did this sequel also did like Freakazoid, Animaniacs, Hysteria. Anybody remember watching that show? Leave me know in the comments. Did that and this movie back in 1998. So yeah, the same animators that did those shows also actually did this movie back in the day. And I know what you're thinking. What is this sequel movie about exactly? Well, it's pretty straightforward to explain. Anyways, let me play some music. While I'm explaining the rest of it. Since I'm going to review this movie for like a short amount of time. Just give me a second. I'm going to play some music. You know, this music won't have nothing to do with the movie whatsoever, but I just love playing old 90s soundtrack. And here we go. TMNT 3, The Manhattan Project. Love that music. Anyways, I mean, and you know what? I'm gonna move this around. Those of you who watched the first movie, it's basically about Krista becoming the greatest fairy of all time to protect the rainforest from man. It took on hexes. It's played by the legendary Tim Curry. And Batty Coda was voiced by Robin Williams. Pets was voiced by what's his name? I have to look up the first movie. Yeah, on my phone. What his name is? Christian Slater. Yeah, that's it. Christian Slater. I do know the first movie came out in 1991. That time I actually reviewed it back in 2022. And it was like 30 years old. And let's see, Samantha Mathis as Krista. Tone Logue as Iguana. Also, the cast are not in the sequel, however. Let me just look it up real quick on the sequel. I'll talk about the story part in just a moment. I'm gonna check the voice cast, so we get like different ones. Pibbs in the sequel, however, he's voiced by Dark Garvey Ox. Iguana is voiced by. I would just play it anyways. Yeah, these are just old movie trailers of other things. Protecting the environment, all that stuff.
Nest here fly every summer to our own neighborhoods. But as beautiful, as wonderful.
Batty Coda is kind of voiced by Matt K. Miller, which is just from that anime called Tenji Muyo Show. There's Weston Peace, who, yeah, that's his name, West in Peace, as Mr. Chuckles, the clown guy. Connie John Page as Budgie.
Support Rainforest Rescue. Write the Arbor Day Foundation.
Krista's voiced by Larch. And other animals are voiced by, let's see, Ollie Connor as Nugget, which is that kangaroo you just saw. Anyways, I'm about to show you, like, scenes from the movie. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted playing that. That can't be right. Stupid movie ads. Okay, right then. Here we go. Here's our three main characters. Nugget, who's actually a boy, by the way. Ignore the eyelashes. Sandy, which is a bandicoot. Get it? And Bark is the wombat. And they live in FernGully in peace. In this sequel, however, Pets is getting bored living in a place of FernGully being too peaceful and all that. And then they do some tricks. And he plays a flute to make the plants grow. and fails at it. Krista uses her magic power to grow a bigger tree. And we get Art, which is this one of those Mega Man miners or guys. They can float in midair for some reason. And Batty's still his crazy self. They get attacked by a bunch of mean dogs. That's Boof, the bulldog, you see. The tall one is Slasha, which is a female dog. And a big huge truck comes towards them.
A human. And an ugly one at that.
This is Mac, the main villain of the movie, who's Australian, by the way.
Go, Slasha. Go, Boo.
They capture the baby animals. And he has a boss named...
Make these things so complicated anyway.
Beat me, boss.
Yeah, and that guy kind of reminds me of Abba Small from Aladdin. The turn of Jafar a little bit. Just a big dummy. So now it's up to Krista and Pitt and Dakota to save the babies. That's the simple plot of the movie, that they had to do the magical rescue. And I find the boss guy not too bright in this movie, because he's kind of an idiot not knowing how to switch a bug. Unlike Mac being the smart one. At least Slasha, the dog does care for a Boof. Again, the little kangaroo does come out of the bag and try to let the others loose. And luckily, Nugget's mother shows up in a good time to save the others. Now one of the guard dogs wake up and...
You're not so tough.
Who thought you can do that? Anyways, the fairies try to do their best to save the baby animals. And we get this funny bit right here. And unfortunately, we don't get a song for that one. Instead of rainforest on fire, and somehow Mac can sound grabs all the animals in one weapon bag. They make their escape and set the place on fire, and we get the only best part of the movie.
Stupid dog. My baby!
Wow, that's like platoon level right there. Anyways, the rainforest is on fire, and they have a regrow of all their power. And Batty learns some and go to the town is a dangerous place, but they had to go there and save the baby animals on what the humans would do horrible things to the baby animals, and they don't do anything about it. They end up in a carnival place.
I don't think so. Daddy says the town is really ugly. But that's beautiful.
And And they start having fun instead of rescuing baby animals. Because they have a great time there, and they kind of forget what their mission is. Bagcola is the only one and wants to save the baby animals. Something the place that they're looking for is right next door. Really dumb. Nugget tries to make his escape at night, but fails to escape. Meanwhile, back in FernGully,
It's the human's monster.
Krista sees the poor creature, her booth inside in a trap. And then Guane agrees to help the creature. That he does not belong in FernGully, but belongs to a human as a pet play toy. And wants to give Booth home on a log. So yeah, Krista is no longer the main star of the movie, but Pips instead.
Try.
Your eyes up at all times here. Remember to keep counting the beats in your head.
And that's Budgie, who's a clown fairy outfit. I don't get
But
it.
you've got no sense of balance. I don't think you're ever going to be ready for the clown act.
Human hurt you?
Who
That funny-looking guy with the big nose. Did he hurt you?
hurt me? No, that's my grandpa.
Yeah, this is Budgie, and just to let you know that despite this review just been going on for a while, Zach is not in the sequel movie whatsoever, so fortunately he's not in it. Since he was the main character of the first movie, it's such a shame that he's not in number 2, replaced by this young teenage girl, and she takes the half-naked fairy guy pretty well. When they introduce each other, and they become close friends, and then live in her garage trailer. And let his friends chill out, and Batty's the only one that does all the work in this movie. To save the baby animals. Are actually the bad guys later and lets them know what's going on. And they just start messing around with appliances and stuff and start watching television. They did that. And the little guy falls back to
You go in and I'll guard the exit.
no.
No, never mind.
But shortly after he gets captured.
Never mind, Daddy. It was nice of you to try.
Yeah,
After that, and back to the carnival and the others. There's the note where the babies are at. And then we get a bit of screen time of Pip and Budgie having a great time
But
connection.
the harder I try, the worse I seem to get.
maybe you're trying too hard.
While waiting.
Thinking about something and doing it are two different things. Just do it.
Show off.
Yeah, just do it, I guess. And we get a sad song of them. Want to go back home, but they'll never be free. But Bad gets his own song. It's actually like the coolest part in the movie history in the mid-90s. And that they'll find their way home. And we only get one character that's from the first movie. Which is the only character we see in the first movie. That used to work at the Loveler. And that guy, whatever his name is, I think his name is Tony. The fat one, I think that's Rob. Which he's the only character to appear in this movie. Anyways, afterwards, he finally realizes he's supposed to have a mission to save the baby animals, which nearly 50 minutes into the movie, and the place is too distracting for him. They finally find them and get chased. And the father also chases them as well.
It's hopeless.
Budgie's father gives chase too, and she risks her life. I have to save the animals as well. And the bad guys notice that she's on board to save all the animals. He takes Batty out of the cage, but Mac realizes that he doesn't like anybody taking in what belongs to him.
You're in big trouble.
He grabs the ledge and Budgie grabs onto the trailer as much as possible. And her father, there's clown vehicles like Inspector Gadget style. And the trailer just magically hits the other side of the edge, and she almost falls to her doom thanks to Batty. But somehow works. And now the father's involved to save the day and turns it to a playable vehicle. So the villains and let's take them to the ship ride. Yeah, they're fairies and the other ones. Budgie and her father Chuggles. They'll save the babies in time. They're moving the bolts and the conveyor belt.
Look out!
Catching the cages one by one, but the poachers won't let them get away that easy. But luckily Chris on them, Green Booth, is reunited with a dog. Dog saves Budgie's life with a bit of magic and go against their own owner. And they all showed up just in the nick of time in our little buddy here. Use a bit of his magic before he gets squashed to death. And then there are magic tricks, overgrown vines, took out the bad guys, and Nugget almost drowns. And at the end of the movie, the villains were defeated, and Boof and Sasha, whatever that other dog's name is, the tall one, reunited with Budgie in the circus, and they all say their goodbyes. And that was FernGully 2, The Magical Rescue. Short animation hasn't seen as top notch as like the first movie is. It's kind of like watching a TV show. Sure, they didn't have to bring back. They did bring back most of the cast and members from the first movie. Sure, it had like wall qualityness. Yes, this is a perfect time to talk about like an early sequelitis movie. Like in February, I'll talk about most movie sequels next week. I mean, those of you like watching movie sequels out there, you might enjoy this or not. When I was a kid, I always wanted to have like a FernGully 3 to happen, but it never does. It's already been like, let's see, since it came out in 1998, it's already been like, let's see, nearly 28 years now. It never happens. I mean, if you like most of the cast members from the first movie and the second one, you might enjoy it or not. You would say it's not as good as the first one. But if you like watching the first FernGully movie, good for you. Hardly anybody on YouTube is talking about it. Believe me, I checked on YouTube. No one, I repeat, nobody wants to talk about FernGully 2, The Magical Rescue. Which I can understand why. The movie does have many problems on it taking its time for them to rescue the baby animals in less than 50 minutes in and stuff. 40 or 30 minutes into the movie. Sure, it did come out a long time ago, but if they rescue them now, it'll be a very short movie. But other than that, it's only like an hour 13 minutes of a film. I mean, those of you who loved it back then or not, love or hate, it depends of the simple story plot of them saving the baby animals from poachers. Or like Batty says, want to buy them, sell them, or eat them, or do experiments on them, just like Batty from the first movie, etc., etc. I mean, yeah, those of you who like FernGully 1 better, if you don't like the second, then it depends on your special ways of enjoying a movie like that. So, I doubt anybody wants to talk about this movie in the next couple of centuries, so on. But enough talking. That's all you need to know about the movie. Thank you all for watching.